Hey, it's Francisca. Welcome to the first video in a three-part series on releasing what no longer serves you. So I've been noticing a theme that's coming up with my clients on releasing patterns or behaviors or things that they have in their lives. And we've been talking about, why you'd want to release those things, what they want to release, and how they can release them. And so because I've been working with them to release these things, I wanted to share that with you too. So why would you want to release something that no longer serves you? Well, it's natural. It's natural that you'd want to release something that no longer serves you because it probably makes you feel really heavy. You probably feel really tired or exhausted. You're probably feeling maybe bored, maybe a little bit anxious with things in your life. Maybe it feels like things aren't moving in your life. Maybe you feel cluttered or overburdened or there's too much. And so those are really good reasons that you'd want to release something. But another reason that you might want to release something in your life is to make space for something new to come in. Again, if you're feeling like things aren't moving fast enough, you may be weighed down by a lot of things in your life, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual things in your life that are no longer serving you, that have served its purpose. And there's nothing wrong with letting go of things, especially if they have pretty much run their course. And sometimes that's what happens. Things run their course, relationships, families, friends, different situations in your life, they've run their course. Physical things might have run their course too. You might be feeling, again, heavy, weighed down. You might be feeling tired. And those are all really good reasons to want to clear things and make space for the new stuff to come in. And I think the most important reason that you'd want to get rid of something or want to release something that's no longer serving you is because it's carrying so much energetic space. So what are your reasons for maybe wanting to release something? Are you tired of a pattern that's been going on in your life? Is there something that you want to make space for? Your reasons may be different. And what I'm finding is that everybody's reason is different for wanting to release patterns or things in their life. Mostly because of the work that I do, it's patterns that people want to release in their lives. And so we work at the root level. We kind of get down deep into like a lot of childhood stuff. We get into some things that that maybe they don't realize are affecting them, but it's what comes up in breath work and Reiki and tarot sessions. These are the things that clients have been carrying with them for a long time. And I know all about that because I used to carry a lot of stuff with me too. I still to this day carry things from when I was 5 years old. So you may also be unconsciously or subconsciously carrying these things with you and not even knowing that those are creating a pattern in your life. And so what are those things that you might be carrying with you? Again, patterns of thoughts. Patterns of thoughts is something that constantly comes up with a certain situation, and you may be thinking something. There may be some limiting beliefs. You might be having some feelings or anxiety around certain things. Again, there's a pattern that happens when something comes up for you, which can lead to these feelings, emotions, or even behaviors that aren't very healthy. So those are some of the things that you may want to release that are not tangible, right? But it could also be physical things too, right? Like clothing. Maybe there's some jewelry from an ex that you still have. You might have photos or photo albums that really you've not looked at in a long time and really you have no use for anymore. You may have old journals that you may want to get rid of. Some people really like to burn old journals. You may have diaries, things that you really don't have any use for, that may have maybe don't hold that sentimental value that they once did. Greeting cards. I know that a lot of us keep birthday cards and greeting cards, which are really nice, but after a while, sometimes they maybe carry a memory of something that maybe isn't pleasant anymore. So there may also be virtual things that are taking up space in your life, like emails, apps, photos on your laptop or on your phone, old messages on your laptop or on your phone, documents, PDFs that you've not accessed in more than 6 months. A lot of these things are things that we're holding on to. We may not even know that we're holding on to. So I've just listed a few things. Sounds like a lot, but there are so many things that people have that maybe they don't need to hold on to. Again, it's carrying energetic space. And that energetic space really weighs down on us. It really does something when we release it and let it go. So let's go into the how. How would you release these things? Well, if it's a physical thing, it's pretty simple. You'd grab it and throw it away, right? Or grab it and give it away, get a box together. Those are easier things, I think, to get rid of, but not always, especially when they carry sentimental value. If you have something that you're holding on to in your life that's carrying sentimental value, for instance, I had a whole bunch of jewelry that I got rid of, and I got rid of it because it was stuff that old ex-boyfriends gave me. I had like 3 or 4 watches, and I had some rings, and I had some necklaces that were broken, and all of this stuff that really didn't serve its purpose anymore. And I really didn't have any sentimental value now. So I took the jewelry, which most of it was silver, to a jewelry store, and they gave me money for it. So that was really great. But Tosha Silver talks about really getting rid of things that no longer serve you. And if you don't know who Tosha Silver is, you should really look her up. But she has this book called It's Not Your Money. And in that book, she talks about the process of letting go and releasing things that no longer serve you. And one of the things that she says, if you're not sure where to start, is to ask love or God or spirit or the universe to guide you to what needs to be released. And so I did that because I was like, I don't have a lot of stuff. I don't keep a lot of things, either in my home or in my studio, but it's kind of been getting messy lately. But anyways, I might need to do this again. But one morning I was like, well, what do I need to release? Like, I feel like I've released a lot of things. And I got an email from Gmail that said I was running out of space. So I went back and I started releasing, but deleting a whole bunch of emails. I had emails back from 2014. And what happened for me was that I was able to see that I've actually been looking for a job a lot longer than I thought I was. And so I've been looking for a job for a long time. I've been looking to quit my job. I was looking for a job, but then the root of it was that I was looking to quit my job a long time ago. And I just really never was serious about it. So anyways, the point of that is it allowed me to appreciate all the hard work that it's taken me to go off on my own and the whole journey. And so again, going back to that first, the why you want to release things is to allow the new things to come in. And the new thing that came in for me by releasing all those old emails wasn't just the storage space in my Gmail, but it was the fact that I was able to acknowledge myself. And releasing the jewelry for me, I got some extra money, but it was more about saying goodbye to those old relationships. Although I really have already said goodbye to those relationships a long time ago, but it was more of a practice of acknowledging that I've been through all that stuff and I'm still here and that I'm all the more wiser for it. So again, the physical things, pretty easy, right? You put them in a box, you let them go. But sometimes the stuff with sentimental value can be a little bit more difficult to release. And so for that, again, you want to check in with yourself. Like Tosha Silver says, ask love or ask God or offer that up, offer it up that you don't know what you're ready to release, and ask the universe to help you figure that out, and ask the universe to help you release that slowly. What about the non-physical things, like the patterns of thoughts, or the emotions, or the behaviors, or the relationships those can be a little bit more difficult because, again, if you're letting go of things or releasing things at the surface level, yeah, you could quit your job. Yeah, you could leave your relationship. Yeah, you could stop talking to your friend. Yeah, you could stop talking to a family member. But the whole root of it, what's at the core, is not going to be fixed. So one great way to do that and look at the patterns of behavior and the patterns of thought that actually brought you to that space is to work with a coach or a therapist, or even somebody like me who can help get down to the deeper root levels. When I work with clients and we do breath work or Reiki or tarot, I'm not telling them their fortune. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not going to tell you your fortune when it comes to doing a tarot reading. What a tarot reading really does is we get down to the subconscious and we talk about what's going on in the subconscious level. And what the cards do, the tarot cards, what they do is they actually show a representation of what's going on in your subconscious. And then I'm able to validate that, because most of the times I don't know what's really going on in people's lives. But what I do know is the story that the cards are telling me. And so I can then validate that for them. And when we bring things up from the root, when we bring things up to the surface, just by looking at them, sometimes that can give you a whole different view. This view that you're able to have, it kind of gives you this epiphany that you're like, oh, okay, that's what I'm dealing with. It's not just a surface level thing. I'm dealing with this pattern that happened when I was a kid, or I'm dealing with these feelings that have started a long time ago. I'm dealing with more toxicity than I was aware of. And so it isn't about the actual thing that's going on. Most of the times, usually it's something deeper. Working with a good coach or therapist, they're going to give you tools or a framework that you can use when you're on your own, because the truth is that it's not a lifelong relationship. It really isn't. Like, you have to be able to do things on your own. And even when I see my clients, like, I usually give them things that they can do on their own, that they can use on their own, and they can make their own decisions, and they can allow themselves to see the patterns when they start developing and know what to do to kind of get themselves out of that pattern if that's something that they don't want in their lives. So some of the tools that I give my clients are breath work. So breath work is a really great way to release patterns, and really it's a good way to bring up those patterns to begin with, because sometimes we don't even know why we're holding on to certain things. And so in a breathwork session, a conscious connected breathwork session, what really happens is the clients are able to pull these deep emotions and these deep feelings and deep thoughts and deep memories out from the subconscious and into the conscious mind, and able to release them. All right, so a few other tools that you can use to help release what no longer serves you are goodbye letters, a Descansos timeline, and cord cutting. So the goodbye letter is one that I love to use. And the way that my breathwork teacher, John Paul Crimmy, showed our class was that you write the goodbye letter like you normally would. Most people know what a goodbye letter is. If you don't, writing a goodbye letter means just writing a letter, not anything that you're going to send off, to the situation, place, person, or thing that you want to say goodbye to. But the way my teacher taught us was that on one side, you write the goodbye letter to the thing, person, or place that you want to say goodbye to. And then you flip it over, and on the opposite side, you write a letter from that person, situation, place, or thing back to you. And so what you're writing there is all the things that you want to hear that you know that you'll never hear, all the things that you should be hearing from that person, that again, or place or thing that you know you're never going to hear, that you know that you're never going to get, but that adds an extra layer of closure. And then you can read it out loud if you're doing this in group. Sometimes I do this in group where if the group is comfortable enough to read it out loud to each other, then we might read it out loud to each other. If not, then the next part is one of my favorite parts is you tear it up and you burn it. And then we lay down and we do some breath work. So it really helps you to kind of get that up and out. Then there's the Descansos timeline. This is an idea from Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. And she wrote a book called Women Who Run with the Wolves, or Wild Women That Run with the Wolves. I don't know, but I'll link it on the description box below. And I'll also link the video on the description box below too. But I love this because you get a piece of paper and you write things that have happened in your life from the time that you were born up until now. And the theory that Dr. Estes has is that we have so many things that have happened in our lives, and they're the little deaths, los muertos chiquitos is what she calls them. And she says that we've died 1,000 times before now. We've had 1,000 little deaths in our lives. And so that can be because somewhere where the road was cut off for us, somewhere where we made a choice that we probably could have made differently, choices that maybe we were forced to make, or we feel like we were forced to make. And so these are things that didn't happen for us, dreams that we had that didn't get fulfilled. And these are these little deaths, these little, again, muertos chiquitos, the small deaths that we've incurred throughout our lives. And so what you would do is get like a piece of paper, she says butcher paper, but get a long sheet of paper, and you would write, like, you know, like maybe in 5th grade you didn't get to go to the choir practice that you wanted to go to, or maybe in 7th grade you didn't get to take, you know, baseball and you really wanted to do baseball, or whatever the case may be. And you put little crosses by those places. And she talks about the things that must be forgiven, forgotten, and forsaken, or the things that were forsaken, forgiven, forgotten. But anyways, then you write that timeline down and you decide, like, have I forgiven this? Has this been something that I've forsaken, or have I forgotten this? And it's in the acknowledgement of these small deaths that you can then bring some closure to it. And then what I like to do with that is also tear it and burn it and then do some breath work. And then there's cord cutting. So you can do cord cutting in various different ways. Some people just do a meditation and they imagine a cord dissolving into the light. Some people imagine burning the cord. Some people imagine the cord just falling away from them. But the idea is that we have energetic cords to people, places, or things that we carry with us. And once we cut those energetic cords, then this person, place, or thing or idea can't really bother us, or doesn't have the weight that it once did to hold us back, to hold us down. So you can do any of these as a ritual. You can do this on a full moon. Sometimes it's really great to do like a full moon releasing, because a full moon really helps us to release what no longer serves us and allows us to really process that. And then when the new moon comes, we can then take in what our intention is and allow that intention to grow. And so if you missed this last full moon, there's another one coming up in 28 days. I mean, there's always a full moon coming up. So it's a really great time to kind of prepare yourself for what is it that you want to release in your life. And then maybe next full moon, go ahead and get a candle out and put some music on and write that letter, write your timeline, or do a cord cutting ceremony. So you can do this in your journal too. You can write, I bless and release whatever it is that you're blessing and releasing. And I know that I shared this with you on the Connecting with Loved Ones series, where I told you that I was doing that for my mom after she passed away, and then her candle turned out. So that was a really beautiful thing that happened for me. But you can do that on your own in your journal, in your morning pages. Just write, I bless and release, and then whatever it is that you bless and release, put that sentence next to it. So you can also use tarot spreads. Sometimes we're not sure what it is that we want to release. And sometimes we just feel like we're heavy and we're tired and just like things aren't moving. And so we may need help to see, what is it that I need to let go of? And what is it that I need to put more energy towards? And a really good way to do that is tarot spreads, which is the second video in this series. So video 2 is going to be tarot spreads to help you release what no longer serves you. And video 3 is a cord cutting breath work meditation that I'm sharing with you to help you release what no longer serves you. And if the ideas of a goodbye letter and a descansos timeline is something that really calls to you along with breath work, then I do have that mini Conscious Breath Connection course. I'll leave a link in the description box below with a special coupon for you to save $20 off of the mini course and $50 off of the full course, the full breathwork course. Both of them have the Descansos timeline and the goodbye letter information in there, along with some breathwork that you can do to help you release what no longer serves you. And as a special added bonus, not only will you save $20 off of the mini Conscious Breath Connection course, but the first 5 people that purchase the mini Conscious Breath Connection course will also get a free 15-minute tarot reading with me. And if you purchase the full breathwork course, the first 5 people will save $50, but also get a free 60-minute breathwork session with me. Again, in part 2, I am sharing tarot spreads to help you release what no longer serves you. And part 3, a cord cutting breathwork meditation. So that's it for this time. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.